Even crusty old cheapskates can be dealt a bad hand, or fin, or claw. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst things ever to happen to Mr. Krabs.
But it was all SpongeBob and Patrick's idea!
Go to your room, mister. You're grounded for the rest of the night.
For this list, we're looking back at some of the unfortunate incidents to befall SpongeBob's boss and owner of the Krusty Krab, Eugene Krabs. He may be a crustaceous cheapskate, but there are times where you just can't help feel sorry for him. If you haven't seen these unlucky breaks, there will be spoilers. Number 10. His unfortunate wish. After learning about wishing wells, Mr. Krabs has one built right next to the Krusty Krab in hopes of scamming some free money. The wishes start coming true, but he remains a skeptic. To prove his point, Krabs jokingly wishes to be steamed and served with butter.
I wish I was steamed and served with a side of melted butter!
In the end, the joke is on him, as he suddenly finds himself in a live-action restaurant about to be served for dinner, screaming in terror that he believes in magic.
What's going on here? Uh-oh! I don't believe in magic! I don't believe in magic!
Well, he definitely got his wish, and while it's kind of funny to watch, it's also kind of disturbing to end the episode right as he's about to be eaten. In hindsight, the wishing well probably wasn't the best money-grabbing gimmick anyway. Number 9. Plan Z-Niner. Along with most of Bikini Bottom, Mr. Krabs votes in favor of the new Shelley Superhighway, thinking it will help bring in more customers. However, it turns out that the highway is one of Plankton's schemes, and it'll actually be built over the Krusty Krab, effectively killing business.
What? Who approved this plan?
Plan approved and sponsored by Sheldon Plankton Enterprises, a division of No Fun Incorporated.
With the restaurant completely doomed, Krabs has no choice but to initiate his last resort plan, selling the Krabby Patty secret formula to Plankton.
Oh goody, let me just wind my watch.
What for?
'Cause I'm gonna love every minute of this.
What really makes this sting is that Krabs blindly supported this project without knowing its true intentions, and it nearly spelled the end of the era he worked his whole life to build up. Thankfully, SpongeBob and the townsfolk eventually tear down the highway, and the Krusty Krab is saved.
Praise Neptune.
Number 8. Going into a cash coma. When Mr. Krabs hurts his back on his old mattress, SpongeBob and Patrick, with Squidward taking all the credit, get him a new one.
Surprise! Fire bucket! What? You? Oh, you? What in the blue-eyed scallop are you doing in me bedroom?
This seems like a nice gesture, until it turns out that Krabs keeps all his money in the old mattress. The loss of his beloved finances sends him into a cash coma, and the only way to save his life is by getting his mattress and money back.
We have to surgically remove him from out in front of the candy machine so I can get to the Nutty Nut Bar, of course.
To make matters worse, despite his critical condition, the hospital staff completely disregards Krabs' well-being and kick his comatose body to the curb. Thankfully, he's reunited with his money and pulls through, but it's scary to see that his money addiction could have killed him, partly thanks to an irresponsible medical staff.
Oh, money! I promise I'll never leave you alone again!
Number 7. The Squeaky Boots. Mr. Krabs ends up stuck with 2 big rubber boots, so he tricks SpongeBob into taking them off his claws. Unfortunately, SpongeBob loves the boots too much.
That squeaking is gonna drive us all crazy!
Their constant squeaking, plus a long sleepless night, starts driving Krabs mad. He secretly tries to get rid of the boots, but anyone who's read The Telltale Heart knows what happens next.
What do you have?
I'll take a...
What did you say?
The guilt haunts Krabs so that he hears constant squeaking until he completely snaps. He eats the boots to end his squeaky torture, only to end up with squeaky hiccups.
Oh no.
While it serves him right for trying to trick SpongeBob, anyone plagued by an annoying sound heard over and over can sympathize with Mr. Krabs' inner torment. Number 6. Losing his millionth dollar. On this historic day, Mr. Krabs finally achieves what every crab strives for, earning his millionth dollar. He takes SpongeBob and Squidward clam fishing to celebrate, only to have his blessed dollar eaten by a giant clam. For someone who loves money as much as Krabs does, this is simply too much to bear.
I lost me dollar, and I'll never get it back. Never.
Never seen Mr. Krabs so broken up.
He falls into a hysterical crying fit and then slowly goes mad trying to get his dollar back, putting his loyal crew at risk.
Nobody eats until I get my $1,000,000 back.
He eventually does get the dollar back from the clam, but it costs him most of his body. Not that he seems to mind. This will hopefully teach Krabs to follow his own advice on keeping your valuables safe at home.
So eventually we settled on a trade.
What'd you give him?
Nothing important.
Number 5, the Chef Exchange Program. In an effort to get rich off of selling smaller portions, Krabs signed SpongeBob into a chef exchange program, temporarily trading him for a rude but fancy sous chef.
I find you disgusting.
While SpongeBob makes a killing at his new settlement, the Krusty Krab isn't as fortunate. The new cook's need for expensive ingredients nearly bankrupts the restaurant, leaving Krabs no choice but to sell everything, including Squidward.
You sold me!
No! Bartered is more like it. They keep you, I keep my kneecaps.
It's become abundantly clear that the Krusty Krab can't survive without SpongeBob because he knows that good food served with love is what makes a restaurant great, not a fancy, expensive makeover. Fortunately, the chipper little fry cook returns to save his boss with rich customers who've become addicted to the Krabby Patties.
I got me poor, disgusting old clientele back, and me rich, disgusting new clientele to boot. I'm back in business.
Number 4, his near-death experience. Krabs' cheapness finally gets the best of him when he tries to resell a moldy Krabby Patty, only to end up in the hospital.
Now then.
The Flying Dutchman comes for his soul, but offers to let Krabs go if he can change his cheap ways.
Show a little dignity.
Mommy!
All right, stop your crying.
This, unfortunately, doesn't work out, and he ends up trading SpongeBob, his loyal employee who actually stood up for him, to the Dutchman for pocket change.
What have I done? Oh, I want another chance!
To his credit, Mr. Krabs actually tries to be generous, and he realizes his mistake at the end, forsaking his beloved money just to get SpongeBob back. Sadly, we all know Krabs can't give up his obsession forever. No matter how hard he tries, it's just in his nature. Number 3, the end of a friendship. Plankton and Mr. Krabs have been the bitterest of rivals for years, but it wasn't always such. When they were kids, the two were actually best friends.
Hey, Frankie, what you doing?
Oh, just a little something I thought I'd try out.
While they were ostracized and ridiculed by their schoolmates, they always had each other's backs. Until they tried to go into the burger business together.
And with this secret recipe, nothing will stop me!
Give me that!
Stop! You're gonna bust it!
After one squabble over a burger recipe, they go their separate ways and set up competing stands. And thus, the Krabby Patty is born and the stage is set for Plankton's never-ending quest to steal the secret formula.
You were my only true friend that didn't have a president printed on him.
Krabs became a success, but at what cost? What was once a rock-solid friendship between two misfits had devolved into a petty squabble between two embittered former friends. Number 2, losing SpongeBob. Every Thursday night, Mr. Krabs goes to the chum bucket to play cards with Plankton. He's never lost until he ends up betting SpongeBob's Krusty Krab contract and Plankton cheats.
I'm afraid you don't work here anymore.
While SpongeBob is miserable at his new job at the chum bucket, Mr. Krabs is no better. The Krusty Krab is tanking without its #1 fry cook, and Krabs lost the employee who was like a son to him thanks to his own overconfidence.
This kitchen's not the same without you.
It looks like the end of the road for his livelihood, until Plankton comes begging for Krabs to take SpongeBob back.
You've got to take that yellow nightmare back!
The little dude's rebellious attitude finally wears him out. Krabs happily welcomes his star employee back, hopefully learning to be careful of what you gamble.
Glad to have you back, lad. Now, get to those patties. The lunch rush is a-comin'.
Before we get to our terrible #1 pick, here are a few unfortunate honorable, or are they dishonorable, mentions.
How long has he been standing over there?
4 days.
It's no use. I'm ruined!
Oh, Eugene, this is all moving so fast.
Just as I planned.
Be gentle.
Furs, lips.
I spent it on a soda! My best friend! Ah, you're all shallow and self-absorbed. What did I ever see in you?
Thanks, SpongeBob. If I can reach, I'd do it myself.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1. Frozen and nearly executed. In the series' big screen transfer, Mr. Krabs lands in more hot water than ever before, when he's framed by Plankton for stealing King Neptune's crown.
My crown is in the Forbidden Cell City!
Plan Z. I love Plan Z.
The vengeful monarch freezes Krabs solid, and plans to execute him if the crown is not returned in 6 days. To make matters worse, Krabs can only watch in horror as Plankton finally steals the Krabby Patty formula.
Eugene Krabs, the time has come.
Eugene Krabs may be a greedy tightwad, but even he doesn't deserve to nearly die for a crime he didn't commit, or watch his ex-best friend completely ruin his life. Fortunately, as always, SpongeBob's loyalty shines through, as he travels halfway across the sea to save his crustaceous boss's life, and is rightfully rewarded at the end.
I think we all know who rightfully deserves to wear that manager pin.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.